What's going on, guys? It's Marcus here with Discover Ignite, and today I actually want to talk about how you can go about changing your life around. Now, a lot of times I think we need to take ourselves out of the environment that we're in, right? And we need to actually do a little bit of an audit on ourselves. Like, what kind of environment are you in? Are you in an environment in which, you are just bombarded by a bunch of different things? Maybe you're going out with your friends all the time. You're not actually concentrating on your priorities. Maybe, there's things going on at work that are making life miserable, right? There can be a bunch of different things, but it's very important to start out with actually auditing where you are. And again, get a feel of your environment, get a feel of your habits that you are consistently doing, your routine. Write all those kind of things down and actually understand what it is that's going on in your life that you may not actually like. Maybe you don't need to, fully change your life around, or maybe there is a catalyst that is causing you to want to make some dramatic changes in your life. Now, the biggest thing here to understand is once you do that, right, once you get your audit and you kind of understand where everything is sitting at, you want to actually do a little bit of research. And what I want you to actually do is to try to, forecast where you actually want to go, because that's extremely important. You can say you want to change your life, and maybe you want to perhaps start getting healthy, and so you start just eating a little bit healthier, but you don't really have a vision of where you want to go. And this is what's extremely important. And what I think is, the next step after you audit yourself is to actually really see, right? Really see where you want to go, right? If you're actually trying to get healthy, how are you going to go about doing that? What do you mean by healthy? Are you trying to, lose a couple pounds and keep it off? Are you trying to, change your lifestyle? You have to really understand this, right? Or perhaps you want to, change the job you're in. Maybe you don't like the job you're in. Maybe you don't even like 9 to 5 anymore. Maybe you're tired of trading time for money. I don't know. Whatever it is, what you have to actually do is to actually do some research, right? And figure out what it is you want to exactly do. Because if you just go in blindly, you'll end up crashing and burning. So once you actually do your research and you figure out where exactly you are trying to go, whether that's through health, business, job, relationships, whatever the case is, you actually want to start looking at, your audit, right? You want to look at your audit and see what habits are exactly holding you back from achieving this vision that you have on changing your life, right? Now, a lot of big things in your life have to deal with environment, right? And that has to deal with, your time. What exactly do you have kids, right? Or do you have perhaps something else that might be holding you back? And you need to kind of, look at that and use that to help you build this new journey onto whatever your vision is. And so when you're going through your audit, you want to start looking at the people you're hanging out with. You spend a lot of time going out and doing things that are pulling you away from these priorities on changing your life. Maybe you do want to get healthy and you find you don't have time to go to the gym or time to prep your meals or whatever the case is, and that is just because you're not setting the priority for that vision. And so what you need to actually do is realize this and find a habit that will work, right? Maybe you start actually, doing some research and realize, well, if I can prep the meals ahead of time, I can start eating healthier throughout the week because my time is really limited. Or perhaps, you're trying to start a business. And the biggest thing here is you may not know how to get to that vision, right? But you need to look at what you're actually doing. And if none of that lines up with that vision, you have to know that stuff's gonna have to change. You have to actually start developing and incorporating good new habits that will actually lead you to that vision. And the biggest thing is not to go diving head first. You can go diving head first if that's the way you want to do it, but I think it's a lot easier for yourself. It's a lot easier transition, especially when it's a life change, to slowly do it, to incorporate one good habit and make sure that habit really sticks, right? And just focus on that one thing, because if you have too many different habits you're trying to work on, this can lead to burnout. This can lead to, you're just losing the desire to actually want to achieve this vision that you had. And so it's important to start out with that little good habit and make sure that sticks. Once that sticks, then you move to your next good habit. And once that again sticks, you'll move to the next one. And then you start gaining this momentum on moving you towards this new vision, this new change in your life. And this is the best way to do it, right? Because you want to put some of these good habits like almost on autopilot in a way and such that will continue to propel you forward to this vision. And that's why it's good to have that audit to remove these things that perhaps will pull you away from that. So when you're looking at your environment, maybe there's a bad habit that you're doing. Maybe you spend too much time watching TV, or you spend too much time, chatting with your friends or texting or on Facebook or something like that. You need to eliminate those things. That's where the audit really comes in and helps you eliminate that, so that way you can prioritize these other good habits that will allow you to get to that vision. And so that is ultimately what you want to do. And you also want to look at, when you're looking at your environment, doing this audit, is to see what kind of people are you really hanging out with, right? Are these the kind of people that want to go out and party, or perhaps, they're doing some other things that, pull you away from your vision, right? And this is what is important, because if you want to change your life, you have to understand that the people you do hang out with will influence what you are doing. And they may be asking you, well, why are you doing that? That makes no sense, and that's not going to work. And you're going to get all this negativity that's going to, again, pull you away from this change that you want in your life. So this is one thing to keep in mind. And not saying you should completely cold turkey cut people out. I mean, in some cases, yes, I think you should. Yes, I do believe you should cut people out cold turkey if they aren't aligned with that vision, that change that you want. And again, I think a lot of these changes that you do want, they have some kind of catalyst to them. There's a reason why you are doing this. And it is something you have to remember when you're going along this journey, while you're doing this audit, while you're doing the research, while you're looking at that vision. You always want to know why you're doing this. And it has to be emotionally compelling, right? It has to be a good reason to why you're doing this, so that it sticks. Because if you don't let it stick, then it's not going to allow you to, make progress towards that vision. And then the last thing I want to leave you with is to understand that you really have to know that it's going to take time, right? And this is something that is really hard for a lot of people, because they don't want to be patient, right? You have to be patient. You have to understand that it's going to take time. No matter what you do, what endeavor you go down, everything takes time, and everything, relies on consistency, right? As long as you're doing it on a consistent basis, that is how you make progress. Right now, if you can be more focused and more consistent, the faster it can come to an extent, right? It still will take time, but as long as you can stay focused and stay consistent, you will eventually get there to that vision that you've always wanted. So if you guys enjoyed this video, smash that like button. Till next time, I will see you guys later.